Hello, everyone. Christian Hernandez here from SVG. We're here with another episode of our On the Pitch series, talking to our friends in Major League Soccer. We're doing a club that's close to home since I'm in New York City. We are speaking with Steven Kocal. He is the senior manager of match presentation for New York City Football Club. Steven, what's going on, man? How's the season and how you doing so far?
Not much. Thanks, Christian. Doing well. Obviously, midseason back to full capacity at Yankee Stadium this past weekend. So we're rocking and rolling over here. We're doing well.
That's right. New York City is back. It was never dead, but now we're back in full throttle. We're alive once again. City that never sleeps. Glad to see that supporters are back at Yankee Stadium. But let's kind of rewind a little bit. Go back to 2020. Everyone doesn't want to talk about 2020 because it's such a rough year, right? But October 2020, you guys get back to Yankee Stadium. You played a handful of matches at Red Bull Arena. But when you get back to Yankee Stadium, how did you and your team kind of get reacclimated to the control room and just being back at the facility that you're used to doing matches in?
It had been a while, obviously, but I think the bubble really helped us out on how we just wanted to handle these completely fanless games. So we had the benefit of kind of taking in that entire MLS's back tournament, seeing what worked, what didn't work, what fans responded to well during those games. It helped us out a lot on how we wanted to program those closed door games from an entertainment perspective. So, how the Zoom rooms went that the league kind of produced for every team and how we can enhance them, how we make the broadcast look better and just be a bit more exciting with nobody in the stadium. Obviously, the fake crowd noise, everyone had their different strategies for it. So many ways to do it from team to team and network to network. So having a couple months to take all that in and also seeing what happened in other leagues and how other teams in those leagues treated closed door games helped us out a lot going back to Yankee Stadium. So a little bit of a longer wait, but I think in the end, it helped us out a bit.
And on the operational side, you guys are in a unique position because you're a club that obviously shares a stadium with another professional team. And in your case, it's the New York Yankees. What is the relationship like with their team? Because you are using their control room. Do you have I'm sure it's a great relationship, but how do you guys work together to kind of streamline operations? And how has that relationship changed back to when the pandemic kind of started and throughout this current season that I'm assuming they're kind of helping you guys out, right?
Yeah, so we have a really good relationship with the Yankees scoreboard team. Those guys have helped us out since day one, and it's been great. And I think the benefit, obviously, sharing with an MLB team. I mean, we have simultaneous seasons, and those guys are playing every single day. Right. And so we're in a unique situation where we don't have as much access to the building as we would like. Sometimes we're having them load content for us while they're finishing up a homestand in the middle of one of their games, and so that workflow, we've been doing a lot of it remote for a long time. And so when COVID hit and we were doing closed door games and we couldn't really be around every day, not too much changed for us, to be completely honest. We already had those systems and processes in place, and it worked to our benefit, and that we really didn't miss a beat. And to their credit as well, I mean, like I said, they've been helping us out since day one. And so whether it's COVID and we can't be in the building, or they have a game simultaneously and they're loading content, it's the seventh inning going on, their last home game of a homestand, and we're coming up that weekend. We're in constant communication with them and just sharing content and loading it up and being ready to go for our games. And so we really didn't miss a beat in terms of that with COVID. And so our past experience with them really, really helped out a lot over the last year.
So along with working with the Yankees alongside them, are there any other production challenges that are going on this year that, whether it's new, a circumstance of the pandemic, or just kind of how things have been this year? Is there anything on top of mind you think you could think of?
I think just having to be flexible all year long has been a priority for us. We started the year under way different guidelines than we have now, clearly. But for our first couple home games of the year at Yankee Stadium, we were pretty limited, both in terms of capacity and what we can do from a production standpoint, just to ensure distancing and all of that. And so we didn't have our wireless cameras in the bowl for crowd shots. Our stadium MC, he wasn't really able to interact with fans face to face. And so that was tough. We've got a significant number of people in the building. It's far from full capacity, but there's a good amount of people in the building. How do we entertain them? How do we put on a normal show under those circumstances? And so it was a bit tough. And then fast forward just a few weeks, and now, we're significant restrictions have been lifted. We're able to do some of our on-field elements again. All of our in-house cameras are back. Our host is back to interacting with fans. And so going week to week with just ever-changing restrictions and protocols has been tough. but obviously now we're kind of opened back up and things are, moving in the right direction. But to start the year, we were under way different circumstances, and it was a little bit tough.
So this question will be more the content side of things and the actual production of the show. What were some of the elements you were playing on the video board when you guys didn't have a lot of fans? And now what are you guys playing now when, those crowds are back into the seats?
To start the year, one of our big priorities on our end was just to kind of loosen things up a little bit, have more fun in stadium, which every team wants to do. But especially coming out of the last year, we really wanted to give our fans just like moments to laugh and enjoy themselves, regardless of what was going on the field or outside of the stadium. But it was tough when we were shooting content with the players, under COVID protocols. Couldn't really shoot with two players in the room at the same time, couldn't really give them any props or things to handle or be in the room with them. And so we did a lot of digging into players' personalities, pulling funny things they'll post on social media, and kind of just trying to get their natural reactions to things, make them laugh, have fans see that other side of them. So running a lot of player features to start the year. Had a lot of fun with the Reface app to start the year. We're mashing up our players' faces and dropping them in. We use Dumb and Dumber. We use The Office. So rolling that back for our guys on media day, having to guess which one of their teammates is a Michael Scott stand-in. Who was Kramer from Seinfeld was another one we did. And so just doing stuff like that and running it back for fans, being under those restrictions, kind of was able to show a different side of our team and loosen things up a bit and get people to laugh. And now we're back to, just regular in-stadium contests with our MC, fan cams, all that kind of fun, sort of normal stuff. But to start the year, we were really heavy on just obviously video content and player features and engaging our fans that way.
Right. And I'm sure sponsor elements and kind of the sponsor obligations can be reinvigorated back into the show, because it would have been a little bit tough. You can't have a trivia game sponsored by such and such without, fans in the stand. So I'm sure that's something that you guys are very much looking forward to doing now, right?
Oh yeah, those are back in full force. Our partnerships team's very happy about it.
Awesome. Last part of the question here, last question of the interview rather. Shout out to teammates, your team members, your crew members that are working alongside you or down on the bowl, up in the control room, throughout the stadium. You can name some names if you'd like, or just in general, how proud are you of your team?
Oh, they've been incredible. I mean, we faced so many challenges the last year. I'm sure everyone says this, but way too many to name. I mean, our game day staff, you mentioned multiple venues. So dealing with that situation, dealing with getting tested on non-game days and driving up to the facility and loading in and out after every single game under all of those circumstances has been tough. And so our game day staff has been incredible. Obviously, the Yankees guys that help us out on a daily basis up in the control room and their scoreboard team have been fantastic. So not a cop-out, but just way too many to name. We've got a big crew that produces the show, and they've been incredible for the last year, just dealing with all these challenges and adapting to things on the fly, and they've been great.
Terrific. Steven, thanks for taking the time, man. A pleasure to get to speak to you and see what things are on the NYCFC side. I've been to a game at the stadium multiple times for the Yankees, but now I have to head out and see a match, and hope to see you in person sometime soon.
Yeah, you got to come out. Big home stretch coming up at the end of the season. So we've got to have you out.